Hi guys, I'm here with my next batch of $500 in singles to go through. Before I get started, I just wanted to point out a couple things. First of all, this first stack that I've got, you'll notice the band on it's different from the rest. That's because this is what one of the bands look like when you get it from the Federal Reserve. If you get bills from the Federal Reserve, those bills are a little bit nicer than the bills that you're going to get just locally circulating. Anything that the Federal Reserve receives, they go through and they pull out any bills that are written on or that are torn or dirty or anything like that. They take those bills out of circulation and they shred them, and you can actually buy shredded bills. And then, of course, they release the new bills that come out. If you specifically ask for straps from the Federal Reserve, it's kind of hit or miss, because you may get a good strap like this where all the bills are nice and neat, but you may also get literally brand new bills. Brand new bills usually come sequential, and if it's a bad number, you're not going to find anything in there at all. So you take your chances that way. Whenever I see old bills in a Federal Reserve strap, I like that because I know that they're all going to be in good condition and I have a chance of finding a keeper. With that, I'll get these out because I already went through them, and I had a pretty good pull this time. Sometimes you're going to come across bills that have unique stamps on them. I already talked about the Where's George stamp. Here's one that says stamp money out of politics. It's just not a bill that I'm going to keep, but it's interesting some of the things you find written on bills in the first place. All right. The first group I have here is a bunch of trinaries. This one's all sixes, eights, and nines. This one's fours, six. Well, this one is fours, sixes, and nines. Yep. I've got a couple quads. This one is quad zeros. You can see that right through there. Quad deuces to end this one. Quad nines. This bill is really crisp, by the way. And a second quad nines. This one's from 2006. It's a little bit older. I did manage to find a birthday note or an anniversary note, however you want to call them. 1908, 2312, so that's December 23rd, 1908. Did get a couple stars. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I did find one alternator, also really crisp. 13151610. So with the number 1 alternating. You can see this one is extremely crisp, really nice shape. And then I did find some old bills in this group. I found a 1999, 1995. This one's a little rough, but I always save anything that predates 2000. This one's even written on from 1995. And then I found one bill I consider one of the more interesting notes. This one's from 1988A, a series of 1988A. What I like about this bill is it ties into one of the things I was going to talk about. All bills have serial numbers, obviously. And if you were to think about the serial numbers themselves as a number, you've got 8 different digits here. So if these were all nines, you'd have 99,999,999 as a number. The way the bills are written and the way they come up with the serial number is that the Federal Reserve Bank, this one is Chicago, has the designation G. That means in the serial number, the first letter will be G. Then they print the 100 million different bills, and it'll be followed by an A. Once they finish the 100 million bills, then they roll this letter here to the next one, to a B. So then the question becomes, how far can you actually go? Well, obviously the alphabet ends at Z, but they've never gotten a Federal Reserve bill as high as Z. However, this one, as you can see clearly, is a Y. They've gotten to Y, I believe, twice. So to find a bill that's got a Y on it is an extremely rare find. There was a time when they did print Z's, and I've got an example of one of those. That was a 1957 $1 silver certificate. They did the serial numbers backwards back then. The first digit in this one is a Z. The A in this one would indicate which Federal Reserve Bank it came from. But this one starts off with a Z, which means they had to go through every single letter, printing 100 million bills for every single letter. Every letter in the alphabet, they made it all the way to Z. No, they don't use O, so that's the only one that's not used. But there are your two examples. The highest you're going to see in a Federal Reserve note nowadays, a Y, and the highest that you can possibly make, the Z. It was funny because I had just found that Y note. I had one that I had all lined up and queued up, ready to go to talk about this, and I sure got lucky and found another one. So now I have two of the Y notes. Considering I've gone through well over 50,000 singles and I've only found two of those, that gives you an idea of how scarce they are. All right, guys, happy hunting. That's what I've got for you this week. See you next week.